CFL Winter Meetings 2023 version 1-on-1 with Toronto Argonauts head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Ryan, when I see you now, every time I just want to ask you about Chad Kelly and if he's going to be your starter. Now, maybe you're getting sick of those questions, but I think part of that is because of the interest in him from south of the border and then now north of the border. Like, we see it on 3 Down Nation in terms of the traffic. When that guy's written about, there's a lot of intrigue about him. And I talked to you a little bit about this at your Grey Cup celebration in Toronto, but do you really believe he has the capabilities to do that? And what's the quarterback situation like for the Argos going into 23 right now?
Yeah, I think he's got a chance to be that guy. I think he's got a lot of, I guess, intrigue, just the fact that he's from Buffalo, right? And then his uncle and everything else. And he had a great career at Ole Miss. And we haven't got to see a lot of, football outside Ole Miss. And he did some good things for us last year. We feel like if he is our guy, we can win with him. We're just not – if we go that route, he's going to have to beat out someone in camp. And I believe in competition, and the quarterback job is earned. And he knows that, and we feel like he can be that guy. That's why we traded for him, right? We feel like, he could be that guy. Great skill set. He works his butt off, and we're confident that he can be that guy. But at the same stage, you got to make sure guys go through the right process of deserving that opportunity. And we're comfortable doing that as well. But, I think McLeod had a great year. We look forward to, potentially having him back. We don't know what the future is with him as far as retirement and things he's got to do with his family. But, we're pretty comfortable there, and there's going to be some tough decisions. And, but we're comfortable that Chad's got another year on his contract. He can be that guy for us.
And just before we get to McLeod, one last thing on Chad. I don't think a lot of people know. You were pretty resolute in your wanting to trade for Chad Kelly from Edmonton. What was the negotiations behind that like? Because it sounded like Chad was only going to come up to the CFL if it was Toronto.
Yeah, that's what, Murph, when he originally got the trade kind of set up, and, he had a feeling from his agent that, Chad wanted to play in Toronto, not in Edmonton. And, I watched some of his film, and I said, well, this is a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and make it happen. And it makes sense. He's got a big following in Buffalo. It makes sense for the organization and for the kid. Let's see. I mean, I like Chad when he was playing college football. Got to see a lot of it. I feel like he's a good player. Now he's got to show it in the CFL, which he's shown flashes, right? He hasn't had a lot of opportunities as well. And I think the more opportunities he gets, the more he'll prove people that he belongs and he could be a franchise guy. And now we got to go out and see it. So,
In terms of McLeod, has he had off-season surgery, and how's that progressing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll start throwing here in a few weeks. Potentially might go into late February, early March. But I feel like if it was August and he had this surgery and we're week 9 and he's got to go play, I think he'd be throwing right now. So there's no reason to rush it and have a setback. And we'll see. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate right now, and I kind of let him get through the holidays, spend some time with the family, and then once we get closer to February, we got to start making some tough decisions. And we're analyzing those things right now, and we'll see where we're at.
And McLeod's a pending free agent, obviously. So is that something that could go past free agency, or do you guys want to have an idea of your quarterback situation, whether McLeod's there or not, in terms of a veteran being in the room with Chad when free agency is going on?
Yeah, I think you want to have it done beforehand, and I don't think we're going to be busy this year in free agency, but you want to have it done so you can sign other players that weren't involved in your organization. Well, they're not going to come over if they don't know what your quarterback situation's like. So we evaluate that. We got to make sure we have the right approach as far as, do we need to have that done before free agency, or is that going to go through free agency? We don't know yet, and I think the next few weeks we'll find out some more information and go from there. I want to let McLeod have some time to deal with his family, and Chad's got to be patient as well. I know Chad wants to be the guy, but we're not just going to hand him the keys to the organization. He's going to have to go earn it, but he might have the head start to being that guy.
Have you had any contract negotiations with McLeod?
Nothing yet, and we those don't normally. Some quarterbacks, they get pretty complicated with McLeod. They haven't been a problem for us. So we feel like we can get that worked out in a day or two, and sit down with his agent, make sure the numbers make sense for him. And if we go that route, he just knows that right now he's got to focus on some other things, and we know who he is as a football player and what he means to our organization, and what he did this year. I feel like he took the next step. It's unfortunate he didn't get to finish the last game. Just for his sake, I wish he would have been able to finish it. But if it wasn't for McLeod, we don't win that Grey Cup game. And the throw he made at Cam Phillips with the broken thumb to get us in the field goal range shows you how tough he is.
And you talked about a Grey Cup, turning down an NFL job and maybe multiple NFL jobs to stay in the CFL. What was the thought behind that decision?
Well, it's funny. I was actually at the ski lodge here when I got the call from Tampa Bay, and it was pretty interesting. So I was like, okay, I'm going. We sat down, a few of my buddies. We had a few beers. I'm like, going to Tampa Bay. Started looking up at places, and then, thought about it. I'm like, the way we lost those first 2 Grey Cups in Calgary, right, and then being able to coach Bo Levi Mitchell, who I think is the best in the game. Still, I mean, there's critics there, but Bo was the best quarterback at that time, and I was coaching him, and I just didn't feel it was the right time and to leave that opportunity and potentially get fired the next year, or the head coach get fired, and then I'm looking for a job again where I really enjoyed my time here. And then I reflected on the fact that I got that call here, snowboarding on a Friday and the things I get to enjoy in the mountains here, and I go, nah, what am I doing? Like, it's not the right opportunity. Let's just be patient, and who knows? I think everybody wants to coach in the NFL. I mean, it's life-changing money. You don't make a lot of money in the CFL, but it's a great job, and I enjoy it. So, it's all about fit.
You have that cachet now of being a Grey Cup winning head coach, and we've seen guys do that in the CFL and then jump to the NFL. Have you had any opportunities come your way, or do you envision going to the NFL in your future?
No, nothing right now. I mean, I sat down with my agent. We're trying to iron out a deal with Toronto to extend there, and really enjoy it there. My wife started to enjoy the city. We miss Calgary because she's from there and I lived here, but we're really enjoying Toronto. So, I'm looking forward to it. Enjoy the chance I get to go to a Raptors game or a Leafs game, and some of the opportunities that MLSD provides for you that I guess other provinces or other leagues don't provide for you to get you outside of football and kind of and get you involved in the city. So I look forward to that. But you never know. But if the phone call rings and if it's the right opportunity, got to sit down with the wife and evaluate that and have those conversations. But right now we're just focused on being in Toronto for a long time.
When's your deal up with the Argos?
So I got 1 more year. Yeah. So we're looking to extend it and it's add some years to it, and we'll see how that's going to go. If not, we'll play out the last year and go from there.
You said years plural, so you're open to extending multiple years?
Yeah, that's the thought, and really enjoy working with pinball. Really appreciate MLSC and the opportunity that we have in Toronto and to build off of what we did this year. Right? I mean, are you going to win it every year? Who knows? But let's be a consistent winner. Let's bring a little juice to the city, and it's a great city, and I think it attracts players from the States. I really do. I think we have that advantage to bring in guys, and you have your negotiation list that that you have those guys and they have to come to you. But some of the guys outside of that, you make a phone call and they're like, oh, Toronto, and then so I think guys are excited coming from the States to come play in a city like Toronto. Now we want to get more attendance and bring some more I guess energy around our building and go from there. But I think we're going in the right direction.
You mentioned Toronto being able to attract some young guys and people in general with so much going on. Bo Levi Mitchell seems like a guy that would enjoy Toronto. You obviously have a connection to him. Where do you kind of see this playing out for Bo, and would the Argos have any interest in him?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I really can't speak on it. I know he's Hamilton property right now. I don't want to get involved in tampering by any means, but I enjoyed coaching Bo for 4 years. We had 4 great years, and I feel like he's got another 4 or 5 years left in him. Wouldn't look forward to coaching against him 4 times. So we'll see.
From what you saw when you're watching the film of him in that BC playoff game when he came in at the end, and I'm asking this from a coaching perspective because a lot of people think that Bo's done, especially after the multiple injuries that he's had. You just mentioned there you think he can still play for 4 or 5 years. Why do you believe that?
Well, I don't know if it's a fair comparison, but I feel like, you look at what Ricky Ray did leaving Edmonton to go to Toronto, right? People thought he was done. He had the shoulder stuff, and Bo had the shoulder things. He's fought through that, and a lot of roster turnover and all those things. And people thought he lost a little bit on his arm, and he might have through the surgeries, but he could still throw it. And when he gets on top of the football, no one throws it better. And you look at that playoff game, it looked like old Bo. And I think Bo's got to kind of evaluate himself and go back and say what has gone wrong the last few years where I'm not the elite quarterback in the league, and I think he still has the opportunity to be that guy.
Thanks for joining us on the mountains, man. Hopefully you get some snowboarding.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, bro.